disability and food stamps makes you weak. So I have experience with people I know that have taken VA disability. Now, most of the time, they're making these injuries up. They're even lying to themselves. But they're essentially saying that they're trading their masculinity for to say, I'm a victim, give me money. And essentially what's happening is they're training themselves to to exchange their masculinity, their dignity, their dominance, their power for money. So the society is training these men to make themselves weaker for a little bit of free money. Not only does it give the issue, as the video I did on entitlement makes you weak, where you don't think you have to do anything anymore, but you've literally trained yourself to be a victim. A man does not admit to being a victim, or he doesn't choose to be a victim. And interestingly enough, all of the guys that I know that have taken the VA, the disability, are very effeminate, very weak. Their wives walk all over them. One of the guys' wife cheated on him constantly, actually. Just not respected. And they won't attribute it to the fact that they have the mindset that they're willing to trade their masculinity for a small fee. And these guys didn't even need the money. But now they're emasculated, emotional, effeminate, ineffectual losers with bad attitudes, most of them. Why? Because they're trading their masculinity for some money. And that's what society wants from you. They want you to trade your masculinity. Hey, here's a free phone plan. Hey, here's some free food. Oh, here's some disability money in exchange for being a man. As far as food stamps go and other government benefits, same thing applies, except it's even worse, because with food stamps and other government benefits, Section 8 housing, food stamps, and so on, you are literally being made into a slave. A fucking slave. You're making yourself poor. You're making yourself a slave. Because here's what happens. You get the food stamps. You get the Section 8 housing. Right? So on and so forth. And then you have a job. And the way it works is that they only give you those benefits if you make under a certain amount of money. So someone does the job, they get offered a promotion, and they don't take it because they say, well, I would have to give up my benefits and I'd end up making less than I do now. And they've got car payment, they've got, because they have to have a new car, and they've got, all these different expenses that most of them are their choice. And they're not willing to give it up temporarily, even though in 5 years or 10 years, they'd be making way, way, way more money if they just continued on that path of getting promoted and doing better and moving to higher paying jobs and or more money for more time in a job and so on. They don't do it. And as a result, they'll have what the bare bones, but they'll never be successful, because at one point, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, they said, well, if I make more money, I have to give up my benefits and I'll end up making less money than I am now, right now. You take those benefits, you're choosing to not be your own man. You're choosing to be a victim. Now, do you also notice that with disability, they don't just have, the people taking the disability aren't just, you'll notice that they're always complaining and whining and, oh, I'm so feeble, oh, I'm so sick. your brain, if anyone's heard of the placebo effect, it's the opposite placebo. It's the nocebo. It's the idea that you're getting rewarded for being feeble and fucking weak. And as a result, you are training yourself to believe you're feeble and weak. I mean, I hear the conversations people have when they're talking about getting the disability, and it's almost like they're trying to lie and convince themselves of them being injured and sick. It's like, funny, you felt fine before you took it, and eventually they will actually feel bad. If it's no different than the woman that's on the walker, or not the walker, the scooter at Walmart will always be fat and can't walk because she chooses to be on the scooter. The man that's sitting here with the walker and is acting all feeble is because he gets rewarded. People feel sorry for him. He gets attention. They have learned, if you notice, they'll exaggerate how feeble they are. There was a guy the other day at Circle K. It literally took 10 minutes to get his money out of his wallet and pay, and he was moving so slow. I would have shot myself. I would have committed suicide before that. If you choose to use the walker, guess what? You'll never walk right again. But people are this victim. I'm a victim. They're getting rewarded with sympathy in exchange for their masculinity. Why would you exchange your masculinity for sympathy and a short-term money, which will cause you to be poor? I don't know anyone, I've never heard of anyone that's ever had a bunch of money because they were getting disability checks. In fact, no one with disabilities has much money because you have programmed your brain to be a victim. All you will be is an animal in a cage, a slave that's basically given dog food and water and made to feel sorry for himself.